Hi, hello, and I am live, and today I will be talking about erotic photography, okay, and I have a very often request, and my subscribers asking a very simple question, Julia, how you come up with this idea to become an erotic photographer, erotic content creator, how it happened for me, okay? And that is to be today's topic, how I become a erotic photographer, how I break into this business, how I had this idea, and in general, what happened, what was the path, and what was the road. I want to show you something. I'm not alone here on live. I have a baby sitting on my lap. Okay, so let me start from a very simple story. Okay, I came from Lithuania. Right, I came from Lithuania to London, and I never thought to become an erotic content creator, erotic photographer. I did not know that this option existed. Okay, when I was living in Lithuania, I was looking for a specialty. I was looking for a job that I would love to do, and it would reflect my calling. Okay, and I couldn't find. So the first profession where I went to was to become a head chef and work in a kitchen. And that is where I got my bossiness. Okay, what I found out is this, that working as a head chef in a kitchen, in general, any chef gets very tired. Okay, it's very tiring to work in a kitchen. It's exhausted, you know, and I worked in the busy places. I worked in the very busy places, and I decided that I need to go and try something else. So I was very good at chemistry, and so there is a Vilnius University, one of the oldest in Europe, and I went and applied, right, to get a degree. And what happened was that I actually managed to pass very well exams, and they decided, okay, the board decided that I have to be a doctor. And they sent me to medical uni, okay? And I spent in medical university 7 years, okay? So that is the base. And I thought I will become, you know, I will be working in a hospital and I will become a doctor. And my mom was very happy with this choice. Okay, but actually this profession I needed to become a very good erotic photographer, because when I studied medicine, you know, first years we're studying a human body. We work with dead people, okay, and we cut people, and we go deeper dive into the human body, flesh, and we just discover how the body is designed, okay, what happened underneath the skin. Okay, and we learn about the human, right? Doctors go through this experience, right? And I can tell you one thing. One time I was in a prosectorium, okay, and I am a student, right? A medical student. And there was these dead bodies. Usually they are abandoned dead bodies, and one was burned, and it had the front burned, okay, and it was flipped on the tummy. And there was an intestine coming out. And because we are going into prosectorium to cut people, we always have this knives with us, right? So I had one in my hand, okay, and I just picked the intestine and I lifted up and I said, Professor, can you tell me what is that? And I can tell you, everyone, because I drifted away from the whole class, everyone turned to me and they were in shock. I didn't realize at that time that it was a willy, it was a penis, it was a huge one, okay, with the homeless man. And the professor looked at me like that and didn't say anything. The moment I realized what I'm holding, you know, on my scalpel, I realized that this is something else, okay? I got embarrassed. So I graduated. I had 2 degrees in medicine, right? And I went to work in hospital. And I was very bored, okay, there, seriously. I am honest with you, okay? It's not that it's not my calling to help people, it is, but in the hospital, the whole environment and atmosphere, it just didn't work for me. So I decided to leave and I went to London. During that time when I was studying medicine, I had a tragedy in my life and my brother died. Okay, and I was trying to kill my pain, and in the night I would go into the bars, okay, and I tried to drink myself to death, okay, and that's where I found this prostitute sitting on the bar and waiting for these clients. And I met that prostitute and she was departed from London. And we became friends with her. I was partying with her, okay? And so she moved back to London and she invited me for her birthday, right? And that's how that's how I went to London. I went to London and the next day, okay, she she took me to the place in Knightsbridge. Okay, there was this. You see, adult work in London is very popular, and there are a lot of Eastern European, Russian, like there are a lot of girls working in there, right? So because I had a medical degree, I said no, I'm not gonna do this job. Okay, and there was this girl on the reception, okay, in the flat from the Belarus, and she was saying, oh, there is this hotel and they need an administrator, okay? She says, go in and just have an interview. Go and have an interview. If you get the job, you will stay in London because London is, it's pricey. So you can't just chill there, right? You need to have a job. So I thought I'll just give it a go, okay? And I went, and it was my first day, okay, because I arrived in the late evening. It was my first day, and I spent, it was near the Hilton in Park Lane, okay, in the center. And you see, I didn't know where they took me. I didn't know anything about the city, okay. When I was working in the hospital, I was a chief executive assistant. My salary was $300, okay? And I was devastated because I knew that I have to stay in medicine for 10, 15 years, learn, and only then I can, achieve some kind of a reasonable salary. Yes, and I was young and I wanted money. I was tired. I spent too much time, in this studying, and I already wanted to have money. Okay, so I was in London and I was giving this shot. I didn't know anything, about red light districts, okay? I knew that in Amsterdam there is this place that they could go and see these girls and they can buy the girls. I never been, I never seen, okay? I came from a totally different environment. So this Russian girl took me to this hotel, and I met an English receptionist, and she put me in a queue. And there were a lot of beautiful, hot ladies, like models. And I'm thinking, what I'm doing here? These girls are definitely will get the job, okay? But I thought, you know what? I'll have a time. I'll just stay and I'll wait. So I stayed the whole day in this hotel till my time comes. And I had this interview. I didn't know what is this place is about, okay? I'm going to tell you. That's how I break into adult business, okay? So I went to have an interview with this old English lady, and she liked me. She liked me. She called the bosses. She showed me around the whole hotel, dry cleaners, security places, all the rooms. And then she handed me a bunch of keys. And she said, that's it, this is your first shift tonight. And I didn't understand where I am. I'm in the hotel. What is the shift about? What are these clients about? What is this going on? Okay. And so it came to like 6 o'clock or something, and it started getting darker. And I was in the kitchen, and at that time I had a cigarette. I just put myself out into the street, put my head out, and I thought I would light a cigarette. And at that moment, I saw the red light coming up, tick, 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 along the street. That's how I know that I am in London in the red light district, okay? That's how I started. That's how I went. And this hotel wasn't just a simple hotel. There was a lot of girls, working girls, prostitutes, arriving and serving clients, okay, visitors from London, travelers, and people who are working in London. And that place was around 5 to 15 girls per night. And I was the administrator and the manager. Okay, and the girls, you see, before there was this internet, like 20 something years ago, there was this internet, just few websites about the girls. Okay, so they would ask me to take a picture of the girl, of the new girl. Okay, and make like, make her look like a model and stuff. And there was seriously very hot ladies in there, arriving to this place. And that's how I started, just playing around. Okay, started taking pictures of these girls working and putting them on the website. Okay, and I never thought that, I'll be a photographer. Okay, I had no clue. Okay, but that's how that's how I was in the bedroom. Okay, with a camera, because they gave me the camera. Taking picture of different girls. Okay, and that's how I jumped into this, right? And then later I realized I need to learn photography. I need to change my profession. Okay, and I spent 3 years studying photography, and then I start working with models, and then I start shooting men, and then I start working with couples. Okay, and that's kind of, gradually I become erotic content creator, erotic photographer. Right? So this story will go on my website, okay? Because people, when they're looking for erotic fantasies to create boudoir photography, nude photography, they want to meet photographer and they want to know who that person is, right? I never had an idea, okay, to become a erotic photographer. I did not know that this speciality existed. Okay, we created, photographers created erotica. Okay, there is no course, there is no university who will deliver erotic photography course. Okay, you can go and learn fashion, you can go and learn portraits, you can go and learn, journalism, different kind of spectrum, but not erotica, believe me. So it was good when I was studying. I already knew a lot of escorts who would need a picture, and I would practice on them. Okay, very quickly I told my story, how I became a erotic photographer, and of course I opened my studio. I went and I got different kind of courses with photographers who work in the studio environment. Okay, and I practice. Right, I practice. So because I worked in adult business, you see, when I arrived to London, I got straight away into adult business. I worked with girls who provide an adult service, but to provide a specific adult service, this is me who was talking to the clients. And over the night, I would speak with 100 people, 100 men. Okay, there were only men clients. And everyone would tell their wishes, their desires, what they miss, what is their fantasy, okay, what kind of the girl they would like. Someone would arrive and they would not know what kind of the girl they like. So when they tell how they are, in the bedroom, what they fancy, what they want to try, I would suggest a specific model for them. And then I would go and I would instruct the model, okay, to provide this and this. Right? So my journey started to become I become a head chef. That's why I'm very bossy and very direct. And I'm very easy to create different kind of scenarios, the menus, the plans, okay? Put a lot of spicy in there. We use different sauces, when we create erotica, right? And then I studied medicine. That is where the nudity comes. Okay, when people undress, they have a lot of conditions, physical, mental. There are just few, okay, who are really healthy with their sexuality. They love themselves. They're really happy how they look. They very happy how they feel, okay? Most of the time when I meet my clients in the studio, in first 15 minutes they would start complaining about something, that something is wrong with them, or they don't feel right, or they would like to lose the weight, or something wrong with the face, or something wrong with with body parts, any kind of stuff. Okay, so photographer is there to make them feel good, to make them feel comfortable, to make them feel confident. Okay, and I am not here alone, like you see, right? So this is my story. Okay, I'm trying to make it short. Okay, the journey now is 20 years plus. I'm in adult business for more than 20 years, and I have seen in adult business a lot of things. That's why nothing will surprise me. Okay, and that is why I allow people to go all the way without no restriction. If they want to create any kind of love story, erotic fantasy, they can do it at my studio with me. You see? Okay, let me quickly say hi. All right, say hi, hello to the ones who joined, and answer a few questions. Today I'm answering as usual, okay, about erotica, about erotic photo shoot, okay, erotic fantasies, and I am introducing myself, how I become an erotic photographer. I can tell you, because I came from the family, I'm Christian, right? So when I went to study, medicine, my mom was very happy and proud of me. Okay, when I changed my profession and become an erotic content creator, I nearly broke her heart. Okay, she thought that I lost, I lost the plot. I'm out of my mind. Okay, seriously, it's disgrace, it's disrespectful, and usually people, when they find out what they do, they, they would go into certain emotion and reaction. Okay, and usually it's a negative one. If there is a guys, they would smile, grinch, and think, she's doing that because she wants, to sleep with every client. That's why. But my reason is probably comes from understanding how much erotica and sexuality and journey and discovery into a human body, into the soul, and into emotion can heal and cure adults. Okay, adults missing someone who would explain them and tell them that it's okay, to be who they are. It is okay to explore their fantasies. It is okay to meet their alter egos. It is okay to try many things. It is okay to, escalate and transform themselves, okay, into a person who you want to be. Because usually when we grow up, we kind of been formed by society. Okay, that is why everyone is confused and lost. I was lost for a very long time. You see, when I found me and I found erotica and I became an erotic photographer, I don't want to change. I don't want to go anywhere. This is what I do. You see, I have a half an hour free, and I have no, problem to come live and just quickly record the live about erotica, because that's what I love, You understand? This is not a job. This is a calling for me. And every person who will arrive to my studio, he's become more confident, okay, with himself. The people who are going through a transformation in general during the photo shoot, and they do naturally if they've been encouraged and lead directly to that point. Okay, if people just doing things and do not aware of this, okay, do not understand, and usually shy and scared in this situation, it's the same like you make love with someone who is not feeling, okay, who is just doing it, who is just, he's blocked, right? We want to have a connection with the person who is really open, right? Who can express themselves, enjoy, right? Be abundant. Okay, there is something going on here. I hope this will pass. There is some kind of alert. I'm in Lithuania now. It's like you know, something in the sky. It's kind of very strange. Let's see, maybe someone is attacking. It's like very interesting. Anyway, I'm continuing my life, and as I said, I'm going to answer the questions today. I'm talking about erotica and about myself. Good morning from Kentucky. Good morning from Vilnius. Okay, I'm visiting my mom, and yeah, that stopped. The noise is stopped. Okay, I'm visiting my mom and making a live video. Hi, Julia. Good vibes Tuesday. That's true indeed. Very good vibes. Okay, what are you talking about? I just got here. Okay, today I'm introducing myself, right? I'm talking about my journey, how I become erotic content creator, erotic photographer. And I briefly explain how I jumped into an adult business, okay, and how I had an experience in there first, okay, before I become photographer, right? I spoke with thousands and thousand men to understand what they want, you know, what they want to find in this brothel. You know, they coming. You see, in London there was a places. Now the whole street is sold. Okay, but there was places. There is still in Amsterdam a place where there is red light district. Right, in London there are a few places. One in Soho, and there was that street Market Muse, which were red lights, and so all the butterflies, right? The escorts, now we call it very beautifully escorts, but in reality it's prostitution, right? All the girls would come in and they would stay and serve the clients. And of course they would provide intimate adult services, right? And the men would come and they would choose the most beautiful one or the most talented one, depending on the preference, who wants what, right? So like I say, I have a lot of experience. I've been in adult business for 20 years. I've been working and managing girls, okay? And that is why it is so easy for me to create erotic photo shoot, a fantasy shoot with the models, okay? And direct the shoot. It is very popular with couples. The most popular is called fantasy and threesome, okay? Threesome with the male models or with the female models, right? These are the most to go to, right? Number one. So this video is about me, a short introduction, okay? How I managed. It's not that I planned, it's not that I wanted. I didn't know anything about it, seriously. It just happened to me. It just slowly and slowly. Okay, I have another emergency. That's fine. The life is continue, and I'm keep talking. Okay, so that is what I do. I create nude photography, boudoir photography, and hi, hello, and of course I create erotic scenarios on camera and on film. It means that I am a photographer and I also a videographer, right? And I make hot and sexy movies for couples. I'm at where I am at. You are on my channel, okay? And I'm talking about adult photography, okay? Adult photography and what it entails, right? So my photography and my understanding is this, that people have to feel something when they're creating it. It is not enough just to take your pants down or take your shirt off, okay, and take a picture. That's what happens usually in the studio, okay? People, when they perform, right, they create a limited session. Limited, right? And photographers are happy with it because they don't want to go into a very sexual mode, right? It's embarrassing for them, it's awkward for them, they feel unready, unsafe, I don't know, they feel just, I'd say, people going out of control. You see, when you go to a sexual mode, you have to lose yourself, okay? That's why couple cannot create a proper video, make love story, because when you are In the climax, most of the time, eyes are shut. Yeah? So how are you going to film with the closed eyes? You understand? I am creating a content that couples cannot make by themselves. Okay, that kind of a content. Yes, you can put a camera on tripod, but it's not the same when you are approaching, right, certain angles and coming very close and being with this couple at that moment, like literally side by side, you know? And that gave me a power, okay, to create amazing scenarios when people are not scared, when people are relaxed, when people are open-minded, when people making wild fantasies, right? And they can make noises, and they can make produce different smells. I already talked about it, right? Everything changes when it becomes real, okay? But a lot of photographers prefer a staged, planned shoot, right? Which you can control. I love your accent. You should do something. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I can relate. Okay. You weren't scared. Creating erotic photography, it is always scary, okay? But for me, it's like going on the stage, right? Before I'm getting nervous, right? And if you are in your element and you are doing your job, you're not scared, right? So when I'm meeting new people, every time I'm creating an absolutely new adventure. The reason why the nerves come inside me, because I'm not repeating the same scenarios. I am trying to make art, and I am experimental, and I am always on a testing mode. And the testing mode produces a lot of error. Okay, but only this way we can create the real art. Okay, I'm pushing my clients to a certain, out of the comfort zone, basically, to a certain direction that they never explored there. They haven't been there, okay? And that in the same time, I have to control this, right? So they would not come too soon, okay? That they will keep the pace with me, okay? And so on. This is like dancing, yeah? Like dancing, we feel each other. That's when it's successful shoot. 42 messages. Okay, let me crack on here. I am so scared of everything. I'd be terrified. Maybe it's a little diff in London, but they're in States. Well, there is another background story why I am not scared. Okay, because I grew up in USSR. It's the Soviet Union. The time when there was a perestroika. Okay, there is a lot of mafia in here. It's very dangerous. So I tried many things, and I've seen many things. And at the same time, I can tell you I had very strict parents, okay? Very strict parents, okay? Now in London, you can't beat your children. But in Lithuania, you could. Okay, so I went through a different background. I was not allowed, to express myself, to show myself, to be in any way sexual. Okay, and when you're growing up, you want to put a miniskirt, you want to put the lipstick, you want to put, the nails up. And when you have a very strict father, you can't, So this is like rebel me, okay? Rebel me getting out there. That's the thing. Yes, the reason why it is maybe so complicated is because I'm the woman. Okay, for woman. There was one guy recently, that's why I'm making this video, asked me what it takes to be a successful erotic photographer. And I say you have to have a steel balls, right? You have to have balls. You have to have a lot of experience. Okay, that's very important in terms of sexual environment, okay, intimate environment, because that's what we're working at or towards, okay, and that's where we're going, okay. And like I say, adult business gave me that. I jumped into this business without looking back because it was fun. right? It was fun. I met a lot of models, crazy. All the models mostly were on drugs, okay, overdosed. I had to control that as well, okay. People who work in adult business, they sell their body. It is not easy for them. It is not straightforward. It's not natural to go and meet a stranger again and again and again, right? When I talk about adult business, I can tell you, you are maybe not aware, but they are connecting with the alter egos of other people. It's like demons. They are sponges. So they take this money, which they make well over the night, and then they buy something to smooth themselves, to compensate. That's why they never got rich. There are a lot of girls in the olden days who already not on this planet, on this earth, yeah. They become addicts and then they left. It's very hard to even create a family afterwards, after this job. I did not see a successful, I have some connections, okay, which last more than 20 years. And I can tell you, when you are working in this business, it's very hard to sustain a family and create a relationship after this type of experience. It breaks you. So I do not recommend anyone to go to adult business, because what we see the successful girls who are so intelligent that they can create an atmosphere and have a regular clients, like 3 or 5 boyfriends, okay, situation. And these types, are very rare. Usually adult business use you, abuse you, and throw you out, okay? It also involves a lot of models and easy cash, right? But nothing is easy in there. Okay, so it is the environment that I worked in, right? You have no idea at all it feels scary for me, at least. Okay, I can tell you about adults being scared, okay? It is okay to being scared, but let me ask you this. Who is scared? Who is scared? Usually children are scared. Children are scared that mom will leave them, then something will happen to them, and so on and so on. And adults keep going into that mode and keep going into this vibration. You see? What's happening with me? Why my screen went dark? Let me just check. Is my... No idea. Okay, I have... So erotic photo shoot, I'm sorry, I'm just checking my phone. So erotic photo shoot help adults to transit from this child energy to an adult energy. It's the same body, it's just a different feeling and understanding and accepting yourself, okay? When you are not scared, when you feel sexual energy, when you allow yourself to vibrate this way, and when you are confident in your head, in mind, and in your body. Okay, if you are scared of everything is, terrifying for you, you are still a child. Okay, and children do not have a relationship and do not make money because they have a mom and dad. Okay, so how is your situation? How is your situation? Okay, financially, and how is the situation, relationship-wise? Tell me. Okay, because that's what happens usually. When people are terrified and scared, they vibrate as a children. And what happens? That if you are a woman, vibrate this energy, okay, you can attract another child. Okay, adults would not see you. Adult energy would pass by, because adults, naturally, they do not mate with children. They do not match with children. It's an incest. Okay? So very often a child wants to find a daddy who would, take care or do something. That kind of a relation you are hitting in, right? Okay, 66 messages. Thank you so much for asking these questions. Are you still working there? No. I'm not working there, but I can tell you something, okay? I always thought it is extremely scary, and it is, because it can come a different criminal, different kind of criminal. So I was like a bouncer as well, looking at the cameras and having that kind of a feeling about everyone, because I am responsible for the girls. The person I'm letting in and putting him in a bedroom with the girl, he can kill the girl, for example, right? But what I can tell you is what I found out, that English police in that moment, oh my God, they amazingly reactive. Okay, I call police numerous times, you know, and they would come and they would sort it out. Seriously, right? So it's not that it's it's something to cheer about, right? But yes, my goal was not to let criminals in so that I would not have any problems, you know. So I had this face control. And of course I had the security, but security was a very skinny, tiny Portuguese guy who smoked weed. So he was constantly high looking at these cameras, you know, just there taking a place. In the reality, I was this bouncer. Okay, so that's the thing. Right, it's quite scary. I told you need to have balls in general, in everything. Even creating erotic photography one-to-one with the man, when man is in an arousal situation. Okay, that's why woman, you see, woman will be a rare kind to go into this kind of a field and business. You understand? Because they're scared. It's not easy, right? Okay. Thank you. Wow, it's an interesting story. Do they ever get super steamy during shoots? Yes, that's the goal. You know, that's the goal. Usually couples are ready. Couples are healthy. They want to experiment. They want to find new dimension. They want to find new adventures for themselves. They're doing it together. They're preparing together. One is wearing this, the other is matching, you know, this type of thing. You know, it's really hot. And I let them. When they're talking to me, they already know I'm preparing them that this is something what they have one chance. Okay? One chance. Seriously, so that they have to give it all. And they do. Okay, they do. 80 messages. Thank you so much. I do not have that much time. I have 5 minutes left. I seek new. What is this? Wax gun. What are this? Where are you located? I'm based in London. She's mine. Hello, Guerra. What do you do? I am shooting erotica. Yes, I shoot portraits, body portraits, boudoir, glamour, semi-nude, nude photography, explicit photography. It means very close-up and erection and arousal, that kind of a situation, right? And then I make love scenes and I'm shooting them. Okay, for couples. Right, so that's what I do. What are they missing? What are they missing? What are they missing? That's like, you know, I can translate it in many ways. You're talking about girls who work in adult business, or you're talking about couples who shooting erotic photography, because everyone is missing just one thing. You see, you need to let go that handle. Okay, and you need to remove that mask to really understand what kind of the sexual being you are, what kind of the adult you are. Okay, so what is good in a photography, if you are with the photographer who is dedicated to capture the whole transformation and the journey, not to take few pictures, okay, then the transformation happens in the client's head. Okay, and they're missing nothing. You take picture after picture and they're growing inside. All these thoughts, all these voices, all these insecurities, all these, you know, things, they come to the surface. That is where people can process this information. There is a lot of viruses, okay? If I would say you are a machine, you have a lot of viruses and you are working program, because every day for you is the same. You're doing the same actions. You're thinking the same thoughts. Okay, erotica, it's a rebel energy. It's erotica meant to heal you, to repair you as an adult. Okay, when you are in a child, you've been through different experiences. You know, people invest time in you when they're raising you, and they put a lot of stamps, their own programs. That is why people are looking for themselves, who they are. That is why adults, by reaching a mature age, still scared and do not understand what they want, how they want it, okay? How to get what they want, okay? How to express what they want, how to attract the person to their life that they would match and be happy with. It's the very simple answer, because they don't know who they are. How are they gonna attract someone? Yes, and we constantly live in a lie, pretending and wearing masks, right? That's what happens. Okay, 74 messages. I'm not gonna make it. Okay, and you have a very calming presence where people probably really trust you. Yes, that is my probably most valuable feature, because in erotic photography, I've yesterday explained, the backgrounds doesn't matter, the settings doesn't matter, the posing doesn't matter, the lighting doesn't matter if the person doesn't want to show and perform. Okay? It doesn't matter. You can put him in a pose and stage him and make it pretty and nice. That's what photographers do. But he doesn't want to show you who he is. A real personality, okay? Real wild emotions, real feelings, right? And erotica is that. To extract this information so they can start recognizing themselves and leading themselves to their own path in their adult life, because this is them who are creators. They creating their journey. This is they accepting or repelling someone. This is their choice, right? Erotica helps, right? So people, if they don't trust you, they're not gonna do much. They're not gonna come in front of you. They're not gonna perform in a way that they could. And I know that everyone has a very big potential. Everyone can create and feel sexual energy inside them and can transform themselves, okay? When people are saying, you know, when you go into sexual energy, you change. Your body change, your face reflection, and in general, everything changed. Someone has a turn on face that it looks like they are in pain. I remember one couple. I stopped them because I take picture one after the other and it looks like she is not enjoying. Okay, and it was a mature couple and they're making love, and I'm just, you know, I just thought I will stop them. I said, excuse me, are you feeling okay, you know? And she's like, what's wrong? I said, it's your face, you know, it's, you know, it shows like you're in pain. And she turned around and said, this is my turn on face. I was like, oh, okay. You know, so people are different. Okay, and when you stop acting, it's not pretty. It's not pretty. It doesn't have to be. It has to be real, right? Unless you're pretending that, you start like this, okay? You can do a little bit of romance, but then animal reaction has to kick in if you're feeling that sexual energy. That's why children are not allowed to watch it, because it looks like abuse, it looks like violence to them if you are really in a sexual mode. Right? Yes or no? Okay. Where is your studio? My studio is based in London. That's no fun if they just lay there. That's exactly. People just can do it and feeling nothing, and they think this is what it is, intimacy and sexual life, and then they think, why it's boring? You know, I don't know. I heard it in the background. That's scary. I heard it in background. That is scary. Do you live there? Are you guys usually under attack? I'm stoked I came across you. You are very chatty. You are very chatty. Okay, I'll just scroll through all the messages, okay? And if how to say, because it's 60, I am not able. I have seriously a few minutes. I have to leave. Thank you so much for joining me. and asking so much, so attractive. You are, I would be too shy yet. I guess it helped to control it. It's in mind. Yes, of course, it's a program. You can change it. You know, you can go to psychologist and do the therapy, and it will be very long time. But taking action creates a change. Okay, that's why erotica is so powerful. Right? Okay, only one. Are you as a model? You look like one. No, I'm not a model. No, I'm not a model. Hey, Sunshine, New York creator. That's me. Do you have a jersey? Because I want your name and number. I think I would have something on my website. I'd love to hear. Okay, Jen, join me. I will be coming up. See, living here where I live in America, I've been really sheltered. Yes, but it's so good. You see that we are connected by the internet, and you can hear information from around the world, right? And you have an access. And if you stumble here right now on me, it means that you need that information, okay? It will wash away, okay? Your shyness, your embarrassment, your blocks, okay? If you know more, information is also a power. Okay. Hi, hello, and here, hi, hello, and I'm on two screens, so hi, hello everywhere. And I would love to tap on that beautiful door. Okay, see you and hear you. Okay, good. Excuse me, can I see your frame? Can you see my frame? That's the frame. Good morning. Are you ready for your first BLK man? How do you know it's my first? Good morning, sunshine. Okay, what are you talking about? Good morning, are you ready? Okay, is it 5 in the morning? It's 5 in the morning. No, it's lunchtime here. Okay, so we are across the world. I am on the other side. I am in the center of the Europe right now at the moment. But next week I will be in London. Okay, next week I will be in London. See, that's why I'm so scared getting hurt. Okay, children are scared, you know, that someone will hurt them. Okay. And it's stopping them. It's stopping them to do many things, you know, when adults feel that they're scared. You like this? You like this baby? Let me just let him go. When adults feel this, energy about any kind of new things, right? They get that feeling of nervousness and they get scared. Okay, anything new scares them. So imagine going into erotica and transforming yourself every time. It will be, you know, it will be very hard, but it's you can convert that if you want. You see, it starts here in your program, and then your body reflects, catches up. Yes, and then people can see that you change. I do this transformation in one photo shoot. People come very scared. They're scared to undress in front of me. They want to go to a changing room, okay? And after a few hours, they perform fully. You know, feeling stuff. Transform the fears and insecurities and shyness into a different vibration, which is a positive vibration. Sexuality is a positive, creative vibration, okay? It's related with money. It's related with beginning of life, beginning of everything. Okay, it's an adult vibration, you know, and you cannot have a great intimacy without sexual energy. You understand? Even now when I'm talking, right? When I'm talking, I'm sharing my sexual energy. Okay, thank you so much. And I need to be somewhere in half an hour Thank you so much for being here and asking all these questions. I will definitely see and check later on. And when you see me live, you can ask me everything about erotica. You can share how you feel, because the moment you start sharing how you feel, the universe will hear you and it will initiate that change for you. The moment you're scared and hiding, you will not get into a different place. Okay, so thank you for those who are brave enough to share, okay, about how they feel intimately, sexually, and so on. It is a good start. It is a very good start. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Bye. Okay, let me just switch that on and say bye to everyone. And I will be translating, so sign to my channel and I will be providing more and more content for you. Yeah, bye bye for now.